Anyways, moving on. We're now into the degen column of my content for today. Yaniv, who I did a stream on. In case you're curious, you have to find that on Odyssey, because I'm sure that gets taken down on YouTube at this point. So many eons ago, when Yaniv was more active in the suing people department, Rebel Media got involved because he was like international news for a bit. You had he was such a great trope because he was this fat Jewish Canadian tranny exploiting the fuck out of liberal Canada's human rights tribunals to just utterly humiliate people and ruin lives and shit all over the Canadian flag. He was like everything that everybody hated, like a walking refutation of trans rights as a whole. Everybody wanted a big piece of that ass because they were like, ooh, this guy is like a golem. This man exists specifically to validate my worldviews against trans shit. So when he was out and about, everybody was trying to capitalize on the Jonathan Yaniv shit. And one of those people trying to capitalize on Jonathan Yaniv was a group called Rebel Media, which I do not like much because everything I've seen from Rebel Media is grifting and humiliating and embarrassing, amateurish. They are just completely unlikable. But they got up in Yaniv's face and he like assaulted them, I think, and he got convicted of that, which was like his second criminal conviction. But then he sued them for defamation, and the British Columbia court system has thrown that out. And what I want to write about here is, or read here out of all this document, is page 2, because the judge essentially says Jonathan Yaniv cannot be defamed because he's such a piece of shit. So Lauren Southern actually had a story about Rebel Media grifting for Israel in her video. That's very funny. How sad of that then for them to go after one of their own. It's Hebrew on Hebrew violence. Truly, I condemn that in the strongest possible terms. Only that is behavior I would expect from the Goyim. Anyways, paragraph 5 here, and the Human Rights Tribunal verdict between Simpson v. By the way, his name is literally Jessica Simpson now. The government of Canada allowed him to change his name from Jonathan Yaniv to Jessica Simpson. And by the way, the judge is kind of based, but he lives in Canada, so he's also a cuckold. And the pronoun for Jonathan Yaniv is her throughout the entire thing. The tone of her online rhetoric is often highly combative. She has been critical of individual businesses, governments, and other organizations for perceived wrongs against her will, and will often publicly announce or threaten the commencement of legal proceedings. Often, she follows through on those threats. She has been a prolific litigant before this court, the provincial court, and the British Columbia Human Rights Tribunal, parentheses, quote, HRT, using her name, using her current name, her previous name, Jessica Yaniv, or her birth name, Jonathan Yaniv. Oh, the judge is like just sitting there like her name, her birth name, Jonathan Yaniv, based. He wants to, but he can't. He's bound by the throne of cuckoldry. That is the seat of the judge in British Columbia. Paragraph 6. The following are some examples. A small claims action commenced by Jessica Yaniv in provincial court on March 17, 2020, against another individual for addressing the claimant using male pronouns and her birth name of Jonathan, seeking $15,000 in damages and other relief. B. A small claims action commenced by Jessica Yaniv in provincial court on March 17, 2020, so the same day, against another individual alleging harassment and uttering threats, seeking $35,000 in damages and other relief. C. A small claims action commenced by Jessica Simpson in provincial court on August 26, 2020 against the town of Langley and the Langley RCMP, seeking $35,000 in damages for the following wrongs, among others. I. A failure to respond properly to her 911 calls. 2. Addressing her following her arrest using male pronouns and birth name. And 3, a failure to accede to her demand that she be strip searched only by female. A failure to so they told him to fuck off. A failure to accede to her demands that she be strip searched only by female rather than male police officers. That's so funny. I did not know that. D, a small claims action commenced by Jessica Simpson in provincial court on January 18th, 2021, alleging an unlawful release of her personal health information by employees of the Fraser Health Authority, seeking $35,000 in damages and other release. I believe, by the way, that this information was released because he sued them, which authorized them to use his medical information in court cases to defend themselves. So if he hadn't have sued them to begin with, they wouldn't have had to release any of that information. E, a small claims action commenced by Jessica Simpson in provincial court on March 23rd, 2021, against her Strata Corporation, alleging various discriminatory acts, including, among other things, 1, a refusal to allow her to use one of the 2 disabled parking stalls in the building, and 2, requiring her to remove a rainbow flag from her balcony. And finally, F, an action commenced by Jessica Simpson in the court of May 2021 against the Attorney General of Canada and the Ministry of Justice of British Columbia and 2 RCMP officers, alleging various wrongful acts committed by the police officers against her mother and other relatives. Miss Simpson has also been very active in advancing complaints before the HRT. that is such a funny name. It's truly like divine programming. The Human Rights Tribunal is just coincidentally HRT. In early 2018, she filed a complaint against a hair salon. Well, we know this. And that's just going into more details about the Human Rights Tribunal. And that they were all dismissed. Because remember, in case you don't remember, very briefly, Yaniv became famous because when he was first transitioning to the beautiful woman that we all know him as today, he wanted to get his balls waxed so that he was as smooth as a baby's bottom. And he went to a waxing salon, and in many cases, of the 5 waxing professionals that he visited, they were all women who just operated out of their car. So, you said, I want like a Brazilian, and they'll be like, okay, well, we'll come to you with our kit, or you come to our house. And then it's like, it's not like a studio, it's just like a person doing waxing. So then Yaniv shows up, and he's like, I need you to wax my balls. And it's just a woman living by herself in her home, doing this out of her house. And this guy shows up, this Jewish ogre shows up and is like, you gotta wax my swamp. And she's like, no, sir, I will not wax your balls, your female balls. And then Yaniv sued all those women for refusing to wax his balls, which is what started the circus. But the circus actually had a little bit of a rough opening weekend because naturally the first people to report on this were feminists. They were like TERFs and shit on Twitter, and they all got banned. In fact, I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. There was a feminist blog on WordPress, WordPress.com. So, WordPress has like a free open source thing where you can host your own site, but you can also host on WordPress.com directly for free or for a premium package. Anyways, WordPress is actually very strict when it comes to not taking content down. And when various weirdos were fucking with my family, my family could not get outright defamatory things and like Photoshop porn of people in my family taken down from WordPress because WordPress just refused without a court order to take anything down. So their standard for taking shit down is really, really high. It's like almost Kiwi Farms tier in what they refuse to take down. But for some reason, Yaniv was able to get anything about him on WordPress taken down, and he was able to get anything about him taken down on Twitter. And he got the Kiwi Farms thread about him taken down. And when this started kind of spreading in like the alternative news circles, he, I did a stream on him. I did a stream on him in December of 2019, I think. Maybe even 2018. It's been a while. And I was talking about him, or I was going to talk about him, and I used a picture of him in the thumbnail. Oh, no, he didn't get the forum thread taken down. He got it taken down from Google, so you couldn't find it on any kind of search engine. But I was going to talk about him on YouTube, and I used the thumbnail including him, and he like got my stream taken down, and I got a strike for copyright shit just from the thumbnail, like before it even started. I only scheduled it like a couple hours in advance, so he was able to get this shit pushed through in record time. It was really crazy. And then only after the news broke and it was an international circus and all this shit was happening, did he stop having the power to just curate the internet. So here's a picture of him with the co-founder of Twitter, @Biz. And I don't know how he did this. I don't know what kind of rabbinic spell he cast, but he had like direct access to very high profile people in Silicon Valley who were more than willing to delete whatever the fuck he asked for on the internet. And people should never forget that when you wonder, what do those Janny trannies that run Reddit look like? Who are the people curating content on YouTube? Who are the people handling privacy takedown complaints on Google search? They are literally people like Jonathan Yaniv that have control over what you see every day in your life. And they have access to your private data, and they don't give a fuck, and they're going to do whatever it takes to get HRT into the hands of kids, because that's what gets them off. And everybody should be disgusted by it, and they should be ready to behead media executives at this point. When the Skywriter puts the signal in the sky, you have to be ready, because otherwise we will have a futurist nightmare Matrix world where all the robots managing the Matrix look like Jonathan Yaniv. Truly disgusting. The deer thing on Twitch, yeah, exactly. Speaking of Twitch, Keffals. By the way, I got a copyright strike. I mentioned this last stream. My counter was forwarded to Keffals. I sent him an email saying, "Reinstate my video, you fat piece of shit," and he didn't respond. But currently the Kiwi Farms is making him very angry, and I'm waiting for YouTube to reinstate my video so I can very quickly delete it. But Keffals decided that he was going, because he's still having a spat with the quartering, and he decided that he was going to talk to someone defending the quartering called Stardust, who apparently is like a Twitch feminist streamer or some shit. I don't know anything about them. Oh, it says here, context. Lucas is tard raging over Stardust association with flamenco. Everybody hates flamenco today, except for Stardust. Basically, Lucas decides that he is going to try and get Stardust to denounce the Kiwi Farms, and Stardust refuses, which is kind of base. I don't know anything about them. I hope that they're not like secretly a creepy weirdo, but they refuse, and this is the resulting chimp out from Keffals.
It's kind of hypocritical to be blaming him for being part of a forum.
Oh, right? Shut the fuck up, you stupid bitch. Really? Blaming him for being part of a thread that is engaged in so much harassment that my fucking mother's address was leaked and they went after my family. How fucking discourse brained are you that this is actually something that you would say? Holy.
So I'm not trying.
This is why she takes that so well, by the way. He just flies off the handle and calls her like all these like slurs and calls her like a cunt and a bitch, and she's just like, yeah, so anyways, and just moves on to the next topic. Apparently she's Pakistani, which is bizarre. But this is why I always say that America First people remind me so much of incels. Because, like, Keffals is the perfect example of an incel to troon. And with the right push, I think Nick Fuentes would become a troon, too. That would be a great arc. He'd probably make a lot of money if he trooned out. And it's like, I was always so unhappy because I was secretly a woman deep down inside. And now I realize that. And my name is now Nicole Fuentes. Ooh, woo. He would make so much fucking money. It might happen too. You never know these days.
So I'm not trying to get you mad or anything.
Okay,
like that.
then actually be a fucking person.
Right. I've expressed to you that I don't approve of doxing.
He's
and
in
I
your
don't-
chat. Tell
Yes,
him you
he's
don't
in my chat.
approve of him being in Kiwi Farms.
He knows that I don't approve of doxing, but Kiwi
But you're
Farms
like
is
okay
separate
with
from
it.
that.
So, but you're okay with people who engage in that in your community because he's there right now.
I mean, I don't think people in my community engage in that. Nobody in my community.
Is Flamenco
doxed
not part of your
anybody.
community? Is he not in your chat just like you said?
Look at that AGP rage. He's so angry that she just won't flat denounce the community. And she's like, I don't support doxing, but the Kiwi Farms is different than that. And he's like, no, you have to apologize correctly,
He's a much
femoid.
bigger he has a much bigger community than I do. We had this platforming discussion 5 minutes ago.
We had the platforming discussion. He's in your fucking chat. You're not doing anything. You don't care. This is just fucking content
But
to you.
unless you have screenshots, I'm willing to ban him if you have screenshots of him
Look
posting.
at this
docs.
face.
To ban-
What is this face? Just in
Unless
silence.
you-
Look at this.
Engaged in the fucking thread. He engaged in a group
Okay, but
harassment
just
campaign.
because
How are
people-
you
just
so
because people
fucking
hate on me-
stupid that you
Right, just
can't
be-
see that this is the issue?
Okay,
The
just
issue
one-
is
one
that he
second, one
engaged in a
second.
group.
So again,
Yes.
just because people hate on me, right? And
Yes.
and I can say the same thing about when people have been directed hate towards me. Just because they've engaged in it doesn't mean they're also responsible for every single thing that happens as a result of that hate.
He's part of the group that is responsible directly. He directly encouraged it.
I assume no responsibility for flamenco. Grr. Grr. Don't you dare. Don't you dare, Keffals. Grr. Don't you say that he's a part of the Kiwi Farms, you fucker.
I've seen the shit he said about me. I've seen his fucking like cozy stream where he uses memes that use content from the fucking thread. How is he not culpable here?
What kind of content does he use from the thread?
Oh, shut the fuck up. You want me to like pull up the Nazi site and look over his memes?
I mean,
Flamenco uses the Kiwi Farms. Show me what content he uses from the Kiwi Farms. Shut the fuck up. Who asked you? I did not say something that I could easily prove if it was true.
I don't. The reason why I'm asking is because I don't know. I haven't paid.
You don't
attention to
know.
that.
By the way,
I came here to talk about you and me, not about him.
This is why I'm mad.
By the way. Take a little detour. We're halfway through. So we are in the Keffals thread. And go up to the search feature. We're going to say this thread by Flamenco. There he is. Oh, there are posts. Oh, ho, ho. Ho, ho, he is active. How many posts is this? This is at least 20 some posts. Let's see. Doxing. I don't see. I don't see him saying anything. He says white women get fucked by dogs. I don't think Keffals is a white woman, though. I don't see anything from him doxing Keffals. Do Nazi sites have frog threads? Exactly. Not a Nazi site. Exactly. We'll continue the video.
Because you have no morals. You have no principles. You're willing to just stand by people who engage in group harassment on a forum that multiple trans people have fucking killed themselves over.
Name one. Name a single one besides Bew, because that doesn't count because he's still alive. alive and well. He's living in that bunker with Tupac in Serbia. I met him. I went over there with cookies one day.
Plenty of other
Group
people,
harassment?
Keffals.
Group harassment.
Yes,
Do you have anyone
You
who
have-
has to fucking lock their door at night because they're scared because they get fucking like hate mail directed to their
And
house
I,
just because they're
again,
associated with
have said
me?
That that's not right. I've said that that's
You
not right.
said that's not right, but you won't do anything about the people in your community, who you interact with, who you call friends, because you're a fucking snake.
Okay, but I need screenshots of him actually
All right,
posting docs.
I'll get all of those fucking. He didn't post the fucking docs. He engaged in group harassment.
If he encouraged,
He encouraged
like,
other people by engaging in group. Do you know what group harassment is? You have more than 2 fucking brain cells? Jesus, Stardust.
I know, I understand what group harassment is. I've had people on Cozy direct their entire followings to come hate raid me, so I understand what that is. But
Stardust isn't the one that does
I-
politically provoked, right? No, this person is not retarded enough to be the politically provoked person.
still need to see like more than somebody just participating and being, you know, antagonistic towards somebody, right?
In a fucking
Like,
thread, in the same thread on a site made for group harassment that multiple people have killed themselves over. Are you fucking... How stupid are you? Like, how do you...
You made a spreadsheet of content creators who are all smaller than you that you wanted.
Melina
to...
was on that spreadsheet. What are you talking
okay, but
about?
Gappy and I are smaller than you.
I know,
and
yes, and Gappy and you both defended Destiny, who also engaged in my fucking Kiwi Farms thread, and I have the screenshots for this.
did he post docs of you?
No, he doesn't need to. It's a fucking group harassment thread.
This is great. Look at how upset he is. Like, this is like when Pete rages. Like when Pete says something like he has this preconception, whatever it may be. He has any preconception in the world, and he says it like fact, and he just expects everyone to be like, well, that presupposition is true, so I guess your following logical sequence must also be true. You're totally right. Like, that's just what he expects because that is in line with his entire worldview. And then when people don't agree with him and say, no, actually you're wrong, and that presupposition is wrong itself, he's just like, what? How you got no 2 fucking brain cells to rub together, you stupid cunt, you bitch, fuck you, bitch, I don't need to prove shit. And that's exactly how Pete gets frustrated when someone doesn't agree with him, because in his mind it's like the Kiwi Farms is inherent evil. Anyone who uses, posts, or looks at the Kiwi Farms is also inherent evil. How don't you get that? And then she's just like, no, I don't agree with that. And he's just like, what? Huh? What? Huh? How do you not agree with me when I say this? This is inherently true. Everyone I talk to believes that it's true, and you disagree with me. What?
Okay, but again,
I
people
already told you, you
slandered
stupid
me.
fucking
Wait,
cunt.
Keffals,
Jesus
Keffals,
Christ.
You have slandered me as a white nationalist, as a white supremacist, as a
I
neo-Nazi.
literally do not give a
you've done
single
that to
shit
such
because
a,
you
you've done
are
that to
you
groups.
were
You've done
part
that
of
to
this to
groups of
begin with.
people. I am such a smaller con.
I don't care. You know what? This isn't this isn't doing anything. I really fucking hope the worst for this fucking bitch. I just banned her. I'm done. I'm literally done. Fuck her.
Fuck you, mom.
Absolutely fuck her.
Oh, jeez. I'm gonna need a double strength shot of the HRT
What
after
a
this.
fucking snake. Literally comparing my
So angry that she just wouldn't condemn the Kiwi Farms carte blanche. That's great. That's great. That just shows you like how easy it is to piss people off. All you have to do is just say, well, you know, I see some posts on the Kiwi Farms that I like, and then the people will just flip out at you. It's so easy. It's so easy to troll people. Oh god, why is my chat on the screen completely fucking ruined? I'll fix that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh my god, my thing is my okay, get this. My OBS is broken and it doesn't update when I click anything, but it appears to still be working. So I'm going to have to continue this broadcast without using OBS at all. I cannot click anything anymore because my computer wants to 41% itself after this lethal exposure to HRT on my screen. Speaking of 41%ing myself, so this guy is named Arcturus, and he is the I shouldn't be showing all that. That's a nice Google Maps picture. I don't know where that goes to. Probably to a Taco Bell, because I love Taco Bell. People like to post Taco Bell on my website. But Arcturus said on the Twitter, and this is the co-founder of E621 and one of the former admins of FurAffinity, which, if you don't know, and unfortunately I do know this, those two sites are like the House and the Senate for the entire furry community. They're at like the tippy top. They're the two most important sites because they're both where furries go to get their porn and to commission pornography. And if you don't know anything about the furry community, it is entirely dedicated to pornography. And anyone claiming otherwise is fucking lying to you. They're not even wrong. They're lying. It is about porn, the creation of porn, the transfer of porn, the sharing of porn. That is the furry fandom. So, on that note, this guy, I think he sold E621. There's a guy who is extremely rich, and I don't know his name, and I'm sure as soon as I talk about this, someone's going to start throwing the name out there. But he owns Bad Dragon, and he made so much fucking money selling horse cock to furries that he then took his horse cock money. Varka immediately, Mobambo Mobubu knows who the fuck I'm talking about. Varka then took his horse cock money and bought E621 from Arcturus. And he now owns E621, and he's trying to make a new replacement to FurAffinity because FurAffinity is just shit and it's ran by retards. Now, I know this because of my furry correspondence on the Kiwi farms. They've given me a rundown over what is essentially the government structure of not the Kiwi farms, but of the furry community. You have the House and the Senate, which are E621 and FurAffinity. And then you have essentially Varka, who is the Elon Musk of the furry community. And he's using his Bad Dragon Tesla money to buy out the government and control it wholly so that he will be the God King of the furry community. That is, Varka is a man who managed to make a fortune because he could not find a horse cock big enough to shove in his ass. And now he literally made a dildo company to make sufficiently sized horse cocks to shove inside of himself. And then he filmed himself using his own products and basically stretching out his anus to the human limits. And then he posted that on the internet, and his company made millions of dollars, and he's now reinvesting that into the furry community. So this is the lore. Anyways, the guy who made E621 attempted suicide, or did like a fake suicide attempt. His name is currently Mix Juniper System, and by Mix I mean like Mr., but the R is an X, because he is a multiple system. He never grew out of that Tumblr phase where he's like, I'm multiple people, and he's also like not non-binary. He's a non-binary multiple system. And as he says here, hello Twitter. It is with deepest sadness that you are ending up reading this, our suicide note. So when he writes his suicide note, he says that it's our suicide note because his system is committing suicide together. It's a suicide pact between the multiple personalities living in his head. He continues, know that this is not because of anything anyone has done. No, it is the world that has led us to this. A world which does not care. A world in which the rich does not care for the lives of the poor, of making people flee where they are from to be who they are, that forces them to be a burden on someone already shouldering an unimaginable burden. Every day we have lived in the U.S. has been a burden on our wife, Mau, who is now on dialysis and needs a kidney transplant, is still forced by society to provide for us. We cannot take this burden any longer. I don't know how much Varka gave him for E621, but he should give him more. It seems like he's really fucking poor. He's probably got the fibromyalgia. He can't work anymore. He's too busy hurting. He says, to our loved ones, Mao, we will always be with you. Mini slash, you didn't believe us when we said we were sexually coerced, but we were. You and your friends defending someone who abused us. You contributed to this, and we hope it haunts you. That's not petty at all. This is not because of anyone in particular, but fuck you, Mini Slash, you fucking rapist enabling piece of shit. I hope you burn in hell. We hope you burn in hell. All of us hate you, fucker. To S'mores Draws, we know that your life was as fucked up as ours, and we assign no blame to you, whatsoever. We wish you the best. To Fink and Jackie, wherever you are, fuck you both, fuckers. To Ayazabun, you have been so wonderful and introduced us to such wonderful things. Thank you for improving our life. To Kolix Kuprick and Bastian the Wolf, two of you who have stood by us, we love deeply and are so closed to our heart. We wish you could have done more to help both of you. You are both amazing and deserve the best. And finally, Mao, you carried us these 15 years, and you sacrificed some of your life and one of your eyes for us. What the fuck? You sacrificed some of your life and one of your eyes for us? Why the fuck are you ripping out this dude's eyes? We cannot let you sacrifice any. How do you lose an eye in service of a furry system? You can't just throw that out there. I need the information about how this happened. Rono Sum will take care of you. We have made sure of it. You will get your kidney transplant. I guess he lost an eye to his kidney disease. That would make sense. Renal failure as a result of kidney failure. That's a thing. Or renal failure is kidney failure. I meant like the capillaries in your eye falling out. I really don't know. It could be anything. It could be a dragon dildo related incident. Our body, what if it is still viable? We leave to science. Our kidneys go either to Mao or to someone who can. You cannot take a kidney from a suicide victim. You are wasting it because you don't want to encourage people to commit suicide. No doctor in the U.S. will take a kidney from a suicide victim. Our kidneys go to either Mao or to someone who can cross-match a donation, and onto speculation and doxing and harassment. Bees, Hazel Durg, the corpse, people like that. You suck others in and break them. Lapinus Malice, you made Hayes worse, and you're a sick, twisted fuck who deserves what he will surely get. Our dying breath will curse your name. Were sexual assault survivors. We have been raped, how long is this? Okay, almost done. Abused, nearly murdered, and almost kidnapped, survived cancer, and we are spent. We have nothing left to offer this life, and we don't want to live in a wheelchair crippled by an uncaring society. If you're reading this, we've already taken a fatal overdose of Depakote. The deed is done. Oh yeah, because you can't just pump a stomach or whatever the fuck. I'm sure that this was a lethal blow. The deed is done. To our fellow members of the IWWFJU, thanks for the solidarity against Jason Kerpan, who has been harassing us and making our lives miserable. Solidarity, please share this wide. We hope that the hospital allows us to die a pain-free death as our liver fails. Yeah, that takes like fucking 2 days to finish. Blah, blah, blah. This is the Juniper System signing off from the world. Born 1983, hopefully died 2022. Whatever of us remains will be with you all forever. Furries, wobblies, queers, friends, family, we love you all. And the deed is done. All that's left is to wait to die. Anyways, he lived. Here he is. Here's Juniper System from a communist furry named Mao. And he wants to sing a song for you.
I wanna be like the people are, not with scales, but with real genitalia rolling around between the, what do you call them? Oh, sheets. Flipping my fins, I can't get too far. Cunts are required for nearly everything. Selling myself on the, what's that word again? Street. Up where they bang, up where they bone, up where they stay up at night all alone. I've never come, wish I could have a vagina, not celibate. Wish I could have a vagina.
Bravo, bravo. Encore, bravissimo, wunderbar.
Oh, I'm fairly certain Disney already knows about it. I'm pretty sure they already know about it.
Anglo, I should have suspected, and he wears a cat collar. Oh, jeez. I didn't expect that to be so funny.